Hey guys, YouTube channel here. Today we're another banger of video, and today guys, I'm going to be doing something that I call new chess. So in this absolutely chaotic version of chess, a bunch of new things have been changed. So the first thing I changed was the starting position, where all the pieces are. So you actually get to choose from a set of 6 starting positions. So you got this one where the rook and the knight have switched. This one where the rook and the knight have again switched, but also the bishop and the queen have also switched. The king side rook and the knight, not the queen side rook and the knight. Very different. And so this one, you choose either king side knight or your queen side knight, and change through your pawns and your queen into a super mega chessatron from the BBC's version of New Chess. I'm not copying them. I only figured out about the BBC's New Chess after I started working on this one, which was a few years ago, my first take of it. And then that, I lost the footage for, and the second time, it didn't go very well. The video was horrible. And the third time, I didn't turn my mic on. So if you're hearing this, that means that this is the fourth take, and I do have my mic on, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, so, yeah, we'll get to its moveset later. And so, this one, you trade 3 of your pawns, and move this pawn over to stack on top of this pawn, which makes this bishop's diagonal a bit harder to reach, and also this queen's diagonal a bit harder to reach. I guess you have to move this pawn first, and then this pawn. So, yeah. But, in return, you get a Scott and a Sonic on your back burner. Sonic Nintendo on your back burner. Get to their movesets later, but what you might be wondering what a back burner is. So these are the 3 main pieces you'll see on your back burner. Scott, Sonic Nintendo, and the -7 Scott variation, because they can turn into the Super Scott. So here's a game where you have all 3 pieces on the board. Scott, why are you over there? So you can combine all of them into the Super Scott. You wouldn't do it like this normally. You would, copy and paste it. And then you can highlight all of them, press arrange, click group, and now you have your very own Super Scott that you can put wherever, resize it whenever. We'll come to its moveset later. Well, we should actually come to it now, being that there isn't a later point that I mentioned the Super Scott again in this video. But in the next video on this game, where me and Andrew will play a game together, stay tuned for that. I won't be in this video, it'll be in the next video, so you subscribe, ring the bell, comment, share with everyone you know, put it on loop in a separate tab. It doesn't have to be your main tab, you don't have to be actively watching it, just put it on loop and put it in a separate tab. And just leave it there leave your computer on overnight so I can soak up all the views and retention. While you're at it, put it for every daily channel video, just on a bunch of tabs, separate window, and close the window, so I can get all those views, all that retention. Basically, it's all of these 3 pieces combined, plus the movement of the knight, so it's pretty good. I actually added the Queen Castle. Its abbreviation is QQ. So as you can see, this guy chooses the Scott opening, and this guy switches rook and his knight. What? Why is there a text box here? Anyway, so he is now getting a queen castle, which moves his queen over to here. His king all the way over there, which is pretty cool. And there's, of course, the long queen castle, QQQ, where his queen goes over here on the long diagonal, and the king again gets tucked in the corner, which is a bad place for the king, so he'll probably want an extra move going over to here. Anyway, so earlier might have seen this, the trading card. What does it do? Why are there numbers here like +7, -4? What do these mean? Well, I'll show you what they mean. Here it is. The trading card table. This is the slide that I've worked the most on. So basically, you have -3. If you get a below -3 on your trading card, at or below -3, your opponent gets 1 free pawn. And he gets to decide where it is. If you get above 3, you get a free pawn, and you get to decide where it is. That goes for all these. You just switch the opponent and you. these are all bad. If it's plus, it'll normally be good. And so here's the gain/lose. So this was initially 0.2, which led to games having lesser pawns all over the place. As you sacrifice a pawn, which gives you +4. So that would be, so it's 2, so it'll be 5. So 20 lesser pawns per pawn, which is very unbalanced, and there would be lesser pawns everywhere. So now it's only 8 lesser pawns per pawn. So still really cheap, but yeah. Here's one that people often forget. This is back from my first attempt at this, take 1. It was pretty cool, and it will never get annoying ever. There's also this one that you might consider. You get 1 free, get out of checkmate free card, but it can't be used while you're in checkmate. It can be used while you're in check, though. It can be used while you're in check. So if you can't find a way that you get out of check and know all of our convoluted rules, you can just -100. Now this does run the risk of all your pawns being gone, all of your queens or knights are gone, all of your scots are gone. Your opponent can put whatever on the sad back burner wherever on the board. All Scots gain +2. All bishops are queens until they get above -7. You get a super Scot on the back burner. Your opponent does. You put whatever on the back burner wherever on the board. Sorry, you get your Scot on the sad back burner, which doesn't really matter because you also have this one. And your opponent gets 1 free pawn and gets to decide where it is. So yeah, a few bad things. If you do it 4 times, plus you get 3 lesser pawns or something, your opponent does get 27 queens on the back burner. That's pretty bad. Anyway, on to the movesets. We start off with the Super Mega Chessatron. Here's his white and black versions. You might have also seen them way back when you first mentioned them over here. And so you move anywhere as long as there is only 1 piece on the square, both friendly and enemy. But if there's 1 friendly piece, it cannot move there. It cannot capture friendly pieces. It moves to the square. It will capture the 1 piece that is. It takes up 9 you see back here, it takes up 9 squares. So it's pretty big. So it can't capture like all 9 pieces or something like that. When it gets captured, 10 spawns spray out. The knight dies because that's how it gets killed. I like to imagine the piece just eats the knight. Anyway, so on 10 pawns spray out, it lands on the 9 squares it occupies, and 1 goes onto the back burner. Next up, the Scot. Here's white and black versions. What is this? Opponent gets +3. What? So it moves like a king with each page character giving it a +1. And it can move 1 more time for everyone this is. I have no idea what was going through my mind with this. Opponent gets +3 and you get -2, and your opponent has 3 moves without you responding. I'm just gonna delete that real quick. Yeah. So anyway, this is the other piece that this is the other thing that I changed from take 3 to take 4. So it moves like a queen, but only 3 in each direction, and it can ricochet off pieces, capturing in the process, and this applies to friendly piece. It can ricochet once per piece, including friendly pieces. It can ricochet 3 spaces in the opposite direction of where it came from. So if it goes up, if it goes up, it'll have to go down. There's no way to make it go down. There's no way to stop it there, and it has to go down. And if it comes from a diagonal, it will go to the opposite diagonal. So it goes from a diagonal, ricochets, goes off here, and if it comes to another piece, it has to ricochet again, and go into tons of places. Yeah. Next is the -7. It can move 3 vertically or horizontally. So in the -7 Scot, it starts off moving only 1 vertically or horizontally, but then it gains 1 to both aspects when it captures a piece, so it can move 1, and then again, like a Scot. Here's the lesser pawn. It can move 1 space in front, and it captures only to its left diagonal. And it can't en passant or move twice on its first turn. Anyway, here is the king. It's a king that can be captured, but it has no cross. so it doesn't ignore checks and all that stuff. There's no way to get it in the current version of New Chess, but I'm working on that. Anyway, guys, this appears to be the end of my slideshow. The slide's just the thumbnail for the video. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. Continue, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all the things, and I'll hit you back with another banger of a video in the 15th of March, 1909. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and bye.